Virginia for Virginia Tech's first midweek game of the year in 2019. Binghamton in Virginia Tech. Hello, everybody. Evan Hughes along with you for the call. This non-conference matchup, and what should be a good one. Virginia Tech ranked 24th. Binghamton on their spring break trip down from New York here in Blacksburg, their first ever meeting with Virginia Tech. Kerry Eberly, the junior, and a right-hander from Charlotte, North Carolina in the circle for Virginia Tech. Works with a 1-1 count to the leadoff hitter for Binghamton, Marissa Brato, batting .293 on the year. Corners are in for Virginia Tech. That's Bailey at first and Bennett at third. And offering on a check swing there is Brato, moving the count to 2-1. Beautiful day in Blacksburg, Virginia, folks. Temperatures topping out just about 50 degrees. Not many clouds in the sky, and a nice turnout as well for this midweek doubleheader. Game 1 of 2. It's the 2-1. Misses low and away for ball 3. As we take a look at the rest of that Virginia Tech defense, Caitlin Nolan, a senior at shortstop. At second base is Maddie Banks. The outfield, Emma Strout in left, Darby Trull in center, and Kena Davis in right with Mackenzie Lauder behind the plate. 2-2. Popped up foul and out of play. Umpires for this afternoon's contest, Donald Purnell II behind the plate, Eddie Hall down the first base line, and John Chambers down the third base side. Two is high and away. As Kerry Eberly, a leader on this Virginia Tech team, of course coming off a spectacular 2018 season where she picked up all ACC second team postseason honors and pitched just about all 3 games in a series sweep for Virginia Tech over North Carolina State last weekend. Hokies coming in to this week tied for first in the ACC with the North Carolina Tar Heels. Off to a great start in conference play. Lone loss coming to Georgia Tech 2 weekends ago here at Tech Softball Park. Count is full to the leadoff Brado in the 3-2. Is outside and away for ball 4. Taking a peek at the Binghamton lineup. Now Brado aboard. Martinez, the 2-hitter. Lyons batting third. And Germano, the DP, is the cleanup batter for Binghamton, coming into the game today with a 6-7 record. Mentioned that this is their spring break, and they played in the James Madison Invitational earlier in the week, going 2-2 there. First pitch, wave and a miss. Behind it is Martinez, batting .306 coming into the at-bat. Martinez, a sophomore from Magnolia, Texas. Ball and a strike. Taking a look at the dimensions here at Tech Softball Park. 200 down the lines in left and right. 220 in straightaway center. And the wind is blowing out towards left field. 1-1 wave and a miss in the dirt as the runner Brado takes off for second. And Binghamton has a runner in scoring position here in the top of the first inning. As Virginia Tech head coach Pete DeMore out of the dugout having a conversation with the home plate umpire Donald Purnell II. Bearcats and the Hokies, again, the first ever meeting, America East and the ACC going at it today here in Blacksburg. Missing on the outside corner, moving the count 2-2 as Lauder was positioned off the plate. Lauder, a sophomore from South Boston, Virginia, going to Halifax County High School. Martinez on the year with 4 RBIs. Wave and a miss, and Eberly will pick up her first punch out of the afternoon. News coming out earlier in the day, Virginia Tech moving up a spot in one of the three main softball polls. The ESPN poll moving from 25 to 24. And a big reason why, that series sweep over the North Carolina State Wolfpack, where, again, the story was all Carrie Eberle threw a complete game in games 1 and 3, came in relief in the first, ended up throwing the rest of that game. She deals the first pitch to the three-hitter, Lyons, called strike one. Rise ball sails high. Of course, Eberle known for her drop ball pitch. She'll look in, as well as Lauder, to first-year pitching coach Doug Gillis, coming with Pete DeMore, first-year head coach for Virginia Tech from Kennesaw State. Two of them go back to their Missouri days. And Eberle works ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Eberle getting a lot of attention going into the season as well. Preseason All-ACC. He's already picked up co-pitcher of the week honors in the conference going back to the first week of March. One away, top of the first inning. Scoreless ball game. Anna Lyons, sophomore from the state of California. 1-2. And she takes strike 3 on the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for the junior Carrie Eberle. And there's 2 away in the top of the first inning. Setting up Madison Germano, another right-hander into the box for Binghamton. Batting .333 on the year. That is the best average out of any Bearcat in the lineup. Runner remains on second. Wave and a miss. You can see Eberle moving her location early from inside and off the plate very early in counts, as Germano will go have a chat with the 10th year head coach at Binghamton, Coach Michelle Johnson, closing in on becoming the all-time leader in wins at Binghamton. Brito awaits on second, 2 away, top 1. Another swing and a miss. A little bit of movement there on that inside pitch from Carrie Eberle. Has thrown 19 pitches in the half inning, 12 for strikes. Banks plays deep into shallow right field at second for Tech on the 0-2. Swing and a miss as Eberle gets Germano swinging at the rise ball. So after the leadoff hitter Marissa Brito gets on with a full count walk, steals second, 3 up, 3 down for Binghamton. And we have a scoreless game going to the bottom of the first inning. Virginia Tech, Binghamton, back in just a moment from Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome back to a beautiful day in Southwest Virginia. Midweek NCAA softball, America East ACC matchup of Binghamton and Virginia Tech. Thanks so much for being with us. Games 1 of 2 of this doubleheader on this Tuesday afternoon. Evan Hughes along with you for the call. Scoreless game, bottom of the first, as Jamie Bailey, the first baseman, and will step into the box and lead things off for Virginia Tech. Pitcher for Binghamton, they'll go with Morgan Binkowski. It's the righty deals. A pitch skips low and in the dirt for ball one. Bailey having a nice start to her freshman year, batting .340. 50 at-bats, 17 hits. Taking a look at that Binghamton defense with Binkowski in the circle. At first base is Gouet, Brado at second, Alvarez at short, Ben at third. In the outfield, left to right, Lyons, Morgan, and Martinez. As Herskowitz behind the plate. She'll make a nice effort on the rise ball that sailed away. 2 balls and a strike. And an off-speed is low. 3-1 the count to Bailey, freshman from Scott Depot, West Virginia. And the top part of this Virginia Tech order, as you look at Bailey, Troll on deck, Nolan in the hole. Virginia Tech finding a lot of success scoring runs early in ball games, especially in the first inning. And those 3, a big reason why. Again, that 21-4 record. She'll draw a 5-pitch walk, setting up Darby Troll. Maybe one of the storylines for this Virginia Tech team right now has been the play of Troll in the sophomore, making big strides from her freshman to sophomore campaign. Lefty from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Corners will come in. First pitch is there for strike one. Darby Troll leads this team with a .456 batting average. 4 homers on the year, 22 RBIs. Also has speed on the base pass with 4 stolen base. 0-1 pitch off the plate. That's another thing Virginia Tech has found a lot of success with this year, is moving runners on the base paths. Helped them pick up the series-clinching win against Georgia Tech a few Sundays ago here at Tech Softball Park. Virginia Tech head coach Pete Demore coaching third. First base coach is Kieran Kumar. Swung on and blooped into shallow left for a base hit, and this one will get by Lyons. Pete Demore, head coach from third, will wave home Bailey to score. Troll stops at third, and Virginia Tech has a 1-0 lead in the home half of the first inning. Lyons was coming in, just a line drive hit to left field and just got under her glove. That will likely go down as an error, as you see the infield for Binghamton coming in, having a quick conference. Taking a look at the Bearcats right now in their schedule thus far. Have not gotten to America East play yet. They carry that 6-7 record into today. Started off the year strong at the CSUN Early Bird Classic with wins over CSU Bakersville, California State Northridge, and Santa Clara University. But then that following weekend, the South Florida tournament dropped their first 4 there to Troy, Iowa, Bethune-Cookman, Western Michigan. And then in the JMU Dukes Invitational, they fell to James Madison, who is also ranked in the top 25, 15-0. That was on Saturday, but was able to pick up wins against Rutgers and Morgan State. First pitch to Caitlin Nolan. Swung on and popped up into left field. Lyons makes the grab. Troll will tag, easily score from third. And just like that, Virginia Tech has a 2-0 lead in the home half of the first inning. Nolan, the shortstop, now with 23 RBIs on the year. As we'll see another a circle visit, that is. Morgan Binkowski getting the start today. Freshman from the state of Pennsylvania. This is a pitching staff that Coach Johnson feels like they are really deep at. And they've got a couple of young contributors, and also they return some pitching from last year that led to some success a year ago. Pitchers like Rain Gibson and Rosalind Price. Gibson coming back, leading the team in wins for Binghamton in 2017 and in 2018. But Binkowski getting some significant innings early for Binghamton. Bases are empty, one away for Emma Strouth. Senior from Julian, North Carolina. Last year primarily playing right field. This year seeing a lot of action in left. But another power bat in that order for Coach Pete DeMore. Sitting at 400 as Troll, Strouth, and Bennett, who awaits on deck, all over 400 in the batting average department. Rise ball is high. The righty Binkowski deals. 2-1 is away. Emma Strouth last year starting 25 games in left field. Had a grand slam. This year, starting 25 games in left field. And in Game 2 against North Carolina State last weekend, Hokies homered 5 times. She pops up. First baseman Kaway makes the grab for the second out. But 5 home runs for Virginia Tech against the Wolfpack in Game 2 that tied a school record, and it was Strouth who got things going with a grand slam in Game 2. A big series sweep on the road for Virginia Tech to get to 5-1 on the year. Kelsey Bennett, another righty into the box for Virginia Tech. Nice addition to the order for the Hokies this year. She'll take a fastball inside for a strike. But Bennett came up big against Georgia, one of the signature wins of the 21 for Virginia Tech so far this year, knocking off number 8 Georgia in Athens. And it was Bennett who homered in that one. She's a freshman from Jefferson, Georgia, so it had to be extra special for her to get a home run against the Bulldogs in her home state. Was named the ACC Co-Player of the Week first week of March. Swinging a weak dribbler to short. Alvarez makes the play for the third out of the inning. 2 runs in for Virginia Tech in the first. Darby Troll and Jamie Bailey score. Hokies leading Binghamton by 2 going to the second inning. You're watching NCAA softball live from Blacksburg, Virginia. 1 inning in the book, 6 left to go. Welcome back to beautiful Tech Softball Park, where Virginia Tech leads Binghamton 2-0 as we begin the top of the second inning. Bearcats got their leadoff runner aboard last inning, but then 3 quick outs, including 2 strikeouts from Carrie Eberly, who will begin the second inning with a strike. Leadoff hitter is a power hitter for Binghamton, and Michaela Alvarez goes chasing after one of Eberly's drop balls. Alvarez, sophomore from Victorsville, California. 0-2 sails high. Quite a few players from the state of California on this Binghamton team. Of course, a little bit colder, I'd imagine, in New York right now than California. But it's the beauty of softball early in the season. Get to go travel in a lot of warmer places. And hanging on to it for the strikeout behind the plate is Mackenzie Lauder. Last season for Virginia Tech, behind the plate, a mix of Lauder as a freshman and Sierra Walton, who had just transferred in. And this year it's been Mackenzie Lauder primarily behind the plate. Hokies also have Lauren Duff, a senior. So quite a few options this year for the Hokies behind the dish. And Gouet takes a pitch low and away for a ball. Away from Santee, California. And another sophomore. Pitch low and away. Count level 1-1. Still 1 down. Last year she appeared in 32 games, making 27 starts. Two outs. And a dead ball called by third base umpire John Chambers. Gouet hitting .242 on the year is this Binghamton team. Gouet has brought consistency in this order for Coach Johnston. 2-1 pitch. Rip foul. Going back to last year, also found her groove just about this time a year ago. 6-game hit streak, March 4th through the 17th in her freshman year, and is a member of the America East Honor Roll. Off speed, just missing top part of the strike zone. And Eberly, for the second time today, will work with a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gouet shows bunt and fouls it off down the third base side. Another full count deal. Chopped to third. Bennett makes the play. And there are 2 outs in the top of the second. This is again Eberly after walking the leadoff batter, Brado, to begin the top of the first. Has been finding her groove. Got a day's rest yesterday after traveling back from North Carolina State on Sunday, but throwing over 200 pitches in the weekend. Herskowitz looks at a strike. Hokies will be back on the road in ACC play this weekend at Pittsburgh. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we'll get a couple of series back at Tech Softball Park. One of the notable ACC series this year for Virginia Tech is they will have UVA back at home. Last year they swept the Cavaliers in Charlottesville. Bobbling it is Nolan. And she'll pick it up. Herskowitz is aboard. Took a funky hop to the glove of Caitlin Nolan, the senior shortstop. And that is the Hokies' first error of the afternoon. Still leading 2-0. Just joining us in the top of the second. 2 runs for Tech in the home half of the first. Darby Troll, a blooper to shallow left field. Got under the glove of left fielder Lyons. Scored a run and then a sac fly from Nolan brought in Troll. First pitch low and away to the eight-hitter Sarah Ben. Another thing Virginia Tech has done well this year is scoring runs early in games. You go back to their opening weekend down in South Carolina as the runner goes. Lauder throws and it actually hits Herskowitz sliding into second. The pitch was off the plate. And time is granted to allow Herskowitz to walk into shallow center field, giving her a moment. And the pitch was off the plate. Lauder throw was just right in front of the bag, but sliding in, just happened to hit her. And Binghamton showing they're not afraid to put runners on the move on the base pass. They've only had 2, and both have found a way to take second. That was a hit and run. Just Ben did not make contact with it. And Herskowitz will remain on second. So Ben, the 8-hitter, will try and put Binghamton on the board. Hokies only need 1 to move to the bottom of the second. Finds a strike zone, count to 1-2. Eberle has been efficient with her pitches, 37 of them, 24 for strikes. Looks into the dugout as Coach Gillis gives the signal. The 1-2 rises high, and laying off of it is Sarah Ben, hitting .235. Has started each of Binghamton's 13 games, and that's one thing you can say about this lineup for the most part. It's been primarily the same for Coach Johnson, trying to find a lot of consistency with a lot of underclassmen in the lineup. 2-2. Go back and look at the lineup right now. Brado, a freshman, and then in the order, Martinez, Lyons, Germano, Alvarez, Gouet. All sophomores. Herskowitz, the only upperclassman starting today for Binghamton. Their pitcher, Binkowski, also a freshman. Scoreboard shows 2s. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch in there for strike 3. Inside corner. And Carrie Eberle will pick up strikeout number 4 on the afternoon. Hokies continue to lead the Bearcats 2-0, heading to the bottom of the second inning. You're watching NCAA softball from Blacksburg, Virginia. Back at Tech Softball Park on the campus of Virginia Tech, Hokies leading the Bearcats 2-0. Thanks so much for being with us. Game 1 of 2 this afternoon doubleheader. Virginia Tech up 2-0 as Grace Chavez will lead off for Tech. Binkowski deals and the pitch is low for ball 1. Taking a look at her numbers on the year, the right-hander, ironically wearing the 25 jersey, same as Hokie starter Carrie Eberly. 0-3 on the year, Binkowski. 3 games started, 5 appearances, a 7.68 ERA. As Chavez will hold off on the off-speed. 2-0 the count. In 13 2/3 innings pitched, 22 hits allowed, 19 runs, 15 earned, and a 16-8 walk-to-strikeout ratio. Chavez pops it foul, counts it 2-1. As we take a look as a coaching profile today, beginning with Michelle Johnston, her 10th season at Binghamton. She's had a lot of success there. Mentioning how she's a few wins away from becoming the all-time winningest coach in Binghamton history, but 2015, the first ever America East title in program history, that was under Johnston. Made an NCAA tournament appearance. Won the regular season in the America East in 2016 and 2017. Changeup misses low. Count 3-2 to the leadoff Chavez. And I think one interesting stat, too, about Johnston, you look at the average wins that the Bearcats have had as a program in her tenure, it's 24. Before Johnston, it was 13. So those 11 wins there, definitely a sizable difference. 3-2 is low and away, so Chavez is walked to begin the bottom of the second. But that remains the lone NCAA tournament appearance for Binghamton. Back to 2015. Sets up the sophomore Kana Davis for Virginia Tech. 208 batting average. And pitch hits her. Looked like on the left hand. So she's awarded first. And Virginia Tech has their first 2 base runners aboard in the home half of the second. Mackenzie Lauder looks down the third base side. First-year head coach for Virginia Tech, Pete DeMore. Our coaching profile on coach coming over from Kennesaw State, where he found a lot of success there, making the NCAA tournament a year ago. Kennesaw State and the A-Sun. First pitch to Lauder, there for a strike. Of course, was the associate head coach back at Missouri, made multiple NCAA appearances. Then hired back at June here in Virginia Tech, and 21-4 off to a terrific start. And one thing you can immediately point to and look at big differences from last year to this year is the hitting of Virginia Tech, hitting the ball extremely well this year. You look at the numbers, the batting averages, team scoring a lot of runs as this one sent deep out to left. And it is gone. Mackenzie Lauder, right on cue about the hitting this year, sends it to left field, and the Hokies, just like that, will put 3 on the board. A 3-run shot for Mackenzie Lauder, the sophomore catcher from Halifax County, Virginia. 5-0 Hokies in the bottom of the second inning. For Lauder, that is now her 3rd home run on the year. She's up to 7 RBIs. So base is now empty for the 9-hitter, Maddie Banks. This one popped down the left field side in foul. Banks, one of the new faces on this Virginia Tech team this year, a freshman from the state of Iowa. Utility player who is playing second base primarily this year for the Hokies. Already played in 23 games this year. Has started 2 in center and 21 at second base. On the ground to third. This one hops off the glove of Ben, and she's safely aboard. The speed of Maddie Banks. So still no outs in the bottom of the third. A 3-run homer from Lauder, and Tech continuing to put up runs early and quickly, as it's been a theme all season long for Virginia Tech this year. Back to the top of the order for Jamie Bailey. She shows bunt, pulls back, runner goes. And safely sliding into second is Maddie Banks. Again, the aggressiveness of Virginia Tech on the base pass. Bailey got on with a walk to lead off the top of the first. Ended up scoring on that triple from Darby Troll as the 1-0 is high. Count remains 2-0. Hokies up 5-0 just off of 2 hits. Binkowski deals, finds the strike zone, and a much-needed one there for the freshman. Two-one. Skips in the dirt. And again, Virginia Tech, one thing they have done well early in just 2 innings, staying ahead of the count. Morgan Binkowski. Terrific high school career at Holly Redeemer High School. Needing a strike here. She gets it inside corner. Count moves full 3-2. She was a 4-year letter winner there. 4-time first-team All-State selection. She finished her career with a .54 ERA, 643 strikeouts, and there will not get a strikeout on the 3-2. Leadoff hitter in the order is Jamie Bailey, so she's aboard, and Virginia Tech rolling through their lineup at the moment. As you see the head coach for Binghamton, Coach Johnson, out of the first base dugout, having a conversation with Donald Purnell II. And it looks like we will potentially be looking at a pitching change in the circle. And indeed we will. Morgan Binkowski, her afternoon is complete. We take a look at the final stat line for her. She threw 37 pitches, only 17 for strikes. Gave up 2 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and 3 walks. New pitcher is in. We'll introduce you to her after this break. Hokies leading the Bearcats 5-0 into the bottom of the second. This is NCAA Softball live from Blacksburg, Virginia. New pitcher in for Binghamton as they'll turn to Rosalind Price, the junior from Pinckney, Michigan. So Price checks in for Binkowski into the circle. Thrown 11 innings on the year. 1-1 record, 7.64 ERA, and thrown into a jam. 2 runners aboard, nobody out. Bottom of the second. First pitch to Troll is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. And you can look at Price and see the job she's done. It's really been her and Rain Gibson as the top 2 performers in the circle the last couple of years for Binghamton. Pitch is off the plate for ball 1. She also, at times last year, was the team's designated player as a sophomore. Was first team all-conference at that position for Binghamton. You can see the speed a little bit up from Binkowski. 1-1 is off the plate, and a nice stop there from Herskowitz behind the plate. Again, I've repeated it earlier, but this is a pitching staff that Coach Johnson feels like is one of the best that she's had. Just a lot of variety in different arms, and that was one thing before the season. She said she wanted to find a way to really use everybody and utilize everybody to the best of their ability. It's the 2-1 inside on Troll. Make it 3-1. 5-0. And again, this half inning is highlighted by a Mackenzie Lauder 3-run homer to left field. This one lifted to left in by a diving Lions. Again, Darby Troll, somebody not only who can get on base, but has found ways to really contribute scoring runs this year. Had an inside the park home run at USF, one of the 4 losses for Tech this year, but did a lot at the plate that weekend. Again, batting .464. Not a bad place to be at all here in the middle of March. Full count. And it's outside for ball 4. So the Hokies have faced a couple of full count pitches, but the discipline at the plate has resulted in opportunities for Tech. Bases are now loaded. Nobody out. Keep in mind, this half inning started, folks, with Chavez leading off. Tech just 3 batters away from making it all the way through the order. And speaking of power, that is what Caitlin Nolan can bring to the plate for Virginia Tech. Had a sac fly to left field first time up. 7 homers and 22 RBIs. Fouls one off to the backstop. Nolan, the senior from Bennettsville, South Carolina. Played baseball growing up until about middle school, then making the transition to softball, and has had a great career here at Virginia Tech. 0-1. Popped up foul. Just getting under the pitch there from Price. And this is really the first time here in the bottom of the second that a Tech batter has had to battle from behind the count. 0-2. Banks the lead runner at third. Bailey stands at second with Troll awaiting on first. Oh, 2. Wave and a miss and a big strikeout for Price. Needing an out for Binghamton. And she'll sit down, the number 3 hitter in Virginia Tech's order. Pitch and a little bit of movement, moving away from the plate just at the end. Herskowitz giving some directions to her defense from behind the plate. First pitch to Strouth. And looks at a pitch high. Strouth popped up down the first base side in her first plate appearance of the afternoon. Hokies leading 5-0, bottom of the second. Popped up into right field. Martinez can't make a play on it. This will score 1. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time to stop Bailey from scoring. So Virginia Tech will push 2 across. It'll go down as a double to the wall. For Emma Strout, the cleanup hitter, Virginia Tech has a 7-0 lead on Binghamton. That ball was just kind of floating deep down the right field line, and I think Martinez was confused as to if it was going to be in front of her or behind her, but it one-hopped the wall there. Sets up Kelsey Bennett. 2 runners in scoring position. And that pitch there going to Strout was kind of out of the strike zone. She went after that aggressively, trying to make a play on it, and did just that. As for Strout, that is her 5th double of the year and her 29th RBI. As Herskowitz will go out and talk with her pitcher, Price, who just came in to replace Binkowski. Big half inning for Virginia Tech. 5 runs already put on the board. Bennett had her first career triple and then scored the game-winning run against North Carolina State over the weekend. So coming off a nice performance in ACC play against the Wolfpack. This one lined into right field. It will just land foul down the right field line, says home plate umpire Donald Purnell II. Two-one. Check swing, but it caught the end of her bat. Still 1 away. Troll the lead runner at third, and on second is Strout. 2 experienced base runners for the Hokies. Bennett wearing the number 8 uniform, looking to push the Hokies' lead to potentially 8 or 9 runs. Fouls off an inside pitch. Baseball and softball running in the Bennett family. Her brother Connor currently in the Cincinnati Reds organization. Of course, opening day in the majors just right around the corner. This one swung on, ripped to third as the third baseman Ben flips to home. Now trying to score is Troll, and she's safe at the plate. Ben made a nice play on the ball, and the hop got Troll caught in a pickle there. But a miscue at home plate allows the 8th run of the game, the 6th of the second inning for Virginia Tech to score. And now we are back to who led off to begin this half inning, and Grace Chavez, the designated player. Still 2 runners in scoring position for the Hokies. Price deals. And a beautiful pitch, a strike on the outside corner. First baseman Gouet standing in front of the first base bag, a little bit in for Binghamton. 0-1. Off the plate for a ball. You know, Chavez got the inning started with a walk. And just from there, Virginia Tech has built and built and built this half inning into 6 runs, including a 3-run homer from Mackenzie Lauder. 1-1 changeup, swung on and popped up high in the air to center field. This one's got a shot, and it is gone. Grace Chavez, a 3-run homer to center field. This one just over the scoreboard. And Virginia Tech now with an 11-0 lead on Binghamton in the bottom of the second inning. Big swing of the bat there from Chavez. 11-0, just 5 hits for Virginia Tech. You couldn't ask for a better start to this doubleheader in Game 1. So now the bases are empty. Kana Davis at the dish. And the sophomore from Harrisonburg, Virginia, going to Turner Ashby High School, takes the first pitch high for a ball. Last year playing in 25 starts in 34 games. She ranked second on the team with a .250 batting average in ACC play and had a couple of big series, including a pinch hit double off the bench against Notre Dame in extra innings. That really kind of jump-started Virginia Tech's offense in that series against the Fighting Irish a year ago. 1-1 and a foul tip. Currently majoring in multimedia journalism. And like a lot of athletes playing multiple sports in high school, she ran track, but not only did she run it, was pretty good at it too. Holds a school record in the 55-meter dash as she goes chasing after the rise ball there. And another strikeout for Price, who's done a nice job. No giving up the home run, but came into a tough situation when this half inning began with Binkowski. So 2 away, nobody aboard for Lauder. And a 3-run homer earlier in this half inning that's taken just about 20 to 25 minutes alone this bottom of the second. Sophomore from South Boston, Virginia. Ropes one into center field. Lauder gives this one a ride to center. She's got 2 home runs in the same half inning. How about that? A 3-run homer to left. Gets back up in the same half inning. And a solo shot to center. Hokies leading 12-0 in the bottom of the second inning. What a half inning for Virginia Tech as the scoreboard can't even hold the number of runs they've put up in this half inning. As they have now scored 10. First pitch to Maddie Banks, the 9-hitter, outside and high. And again, you go back to last year, in the final season of the Scott Thomas era, Hokies going 23-30. They lost 10 one-run games. That one fouled off, leveling the count 1-1. But one thing that head coach Pete DeMoore said when he took over this job was that he really didn't feel like it was a major rebuild. He just, looking at the numbers, knew that this team needed to raise their team batting average, hit the ball a little bit better. And you look at some of the numbers they put up in games this year. 11 runs in 5 innings over a Wichita State team, an NCAA tournament team a year ago in their season opener. A couple of other at College of Charleston, 13-0. Detroit Mercy, 13-0. 10 runs against a good Texas State team. And then 12 runs on Saturday in Game 2 against North Carolina State. And speaking of those those shutouts for Virginia Tech. I mentioned some of those games with a lot of runs have come with a lot of great pitching and defense. Hokies have 10 shutouts this year, which is tied for the most in the ACC with the Louisville Cardinals. 2-2. Off the plate for ball 3, and Banks will stay alive with a full count. Price. And a ground ball chop foul. Again, a tough ask for Price to come in here. Rosalind Price has thrown 2/3 of an inning, has given up 5 runs, but none earned. Has struck out 2, and she's thrown 33 pitches in just 2/3 of this half inning. Full count deal. Rope foul. Again, Banks, somebody who can slap her way aboard. Real nice addition in the order for Tech this year, as that was a piece that was missing a year ago, was a lefty and a slapper in the lineup. Hokies had Caroline Schoenwald, a senior outfielder who's now graduated, as their primary leadoff hitter. Did a nice job for the Hokies down the stretch, finding a way to get on base. 3-2. Chopped to second, fielded by Brado, not in time. Tie goes to the runner, says first base umpire Eddie Hall, and Banks is aboard with another Virginia Tech base hit. So we are once again back to the top of the order, as Bailey will get her second plate appearance of this half inning. Still 2 away. Hokies trying to get a little rally going and keep this half inning going. First pitch is high and away. Just about an hour into this game, and nearly a half hour of it coming in just this half frame. Drop ball misses low to Jamie Bailey. Righty on righty, as Bailey, the utility, swung on and ripped to left field. This one through the 5-6 gap. Mark it down, another base hit. Sat on it, and drove that one into left field. As Tech continues to try and build on a 12-0 lead, and we will see a pinch hitter. Head coach Pete DeMore coming down the third baseline, as Kinsey Johnson will come in for Darby Troll. Kinsey Johnson and one of the 6 seniors on this Virginia Tech team, and one of the vocal leaders on this team is Kinsey Johnson, somebody very positive, involved in the Virginia Tech Student Athletic Council. And here we'll get an opportunity with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Takes the pitch outside for a ball. And this is her third at-bat of the year. She does have a hit, but one thing that Johnson has done this year is been one of the go-to pinch runners off the bench for Coach DeMore, and she scored 8 runs this year. This one just fouled down the third base side. Bailey, the lead runner at second. Banks, that is, and Bailey on first. One deal from Price. It's on the outside corner for strike 2. Johnson, someone who's battled injuries throughout her career. This is her 62nd at-bat of her college career, but just continues to find ways to get involved in games. And again, cannot stress enough this Hokies team, the leadership that she provides. Wearing the 19 uniform, right foot in the box, now the left. Hokies ranked 24th in the country. That new ranking coming out earlier today. They'll look to build on it this week. 1-2 high and away, and a nice job there from Herskowitz. As you mentioned, the pitchers. I mean, Rosalind Price in 2/3 of an inning has thrown 43 pitches. You have to think that Binkowski, she threw 37 of them, so there's been over 55 pitches thrown. Got to give it up to the catcher behind the plate. 2-2, again fouled off from Johnson. Coach DeMore claps his hands down the third base side. Two balls and two strikes with 2 away. Hokies with 10 runs in this second inning. Swing and a miss, and Binghamton is out of the half inning with a strikeout from Price. Hokies with 10 runs in the bottom of the second inning. 3 home runs, 2 from Lauder, 1 from Chavez. They lead Binghamton 12-0 going to the top of the third inning. This is NCAA softball from Blacksburg, Virginia. Back in just a moment. Two innings in the book, and welcome back to game number 1 of this doubleheader today from Tech Softball. Park Evan Hughes along with you for the call. Thanks so much for being here. Virginia Tech is picking up right where they left off against North Carolina State last weekend, where they picked up a series sweep, leading 12-0. Eberly back out another inning of work. First pitch, blooped into left field. And making the grab is Strouth for the first out of the inning. Is that retired Chloe Morgan? Thinking about Virginia Tech, their leadoff hitter, Jamie Bailey's had just about 4 at-bats, and Morgan was just making her first. Back to the top of the order for Marissa Brado. First pitch swung on to third, takes a hop to the glove, and firing to first to Walton in time for the out. As Virginia Tech looks like they do have a couple of defensive substitutions in the game. That was Stacy Colt making the throw over there at third. So Colt at third, in for Bailey at first is a senior in Sierra Walton. Banks remains at second. Nolan remains at shortstop. 2 down as Lauren Martinez steps in. And that pitch well high, 4-1. Nearly a opportunity there for a 3-pitch inning. Binghamton and Virginia Tech meeting for just the first time between these two schools. This is the 6th time that Binghamton has gone up against an ACC program. This one sent out to right field. The catch is made by Banks, and Martinez is retired. So less than 5 pitches for Eberly thrown in that half inning. Score remains 12-0. Virginia Tech going to the bottom of the third. This is NCAA softball live from Blacksburg, Virginia. A sunny day here in Southwest Virginia, 50 degrees the temperature as we welcome you back to Tech Softball Park. Evan Hughes along with you for the call of this ACC America East matchup, game 1 of 2, and another substitution for Virginia Tech as Jada Crittenden, the lefty, will come in off the bench. And the first pitch to her, swung on the ground to third. This one is through for a base hit. Jada Crittenden right through the 5-6 gap, a diving attempt between Alvarez and Ben. And Crittenden, somebody for Virginia Tech last year who redshirted and getting on base here to begin the bottom of the third. Hokies continuing to lead 12-0. So she was in place of Caitlin Nolan. This brings up the cleanup hitter, Emma Strouth. In the first pitch is high and away. Emma Strouth seeing the ball well today. 1 for 2 with that 2 RBI double down the right field line the last time she was up at the plate. Price still in the circle. The 1-0 is there for a strike. Count standing at 1-1. Here's the pitch. This one swung on and popped up the second. The catch is made and no flip from Brado, who caught it for the first out. Crittenden back safely aboard at first. And there's one away as we now see Stacy Colt make her first at-bat of the game. Again, another substitution. Coach Pete DeMoore getting in some players, getting some valuable innings here early in game 1 of 2. First pitch to Colt. And a beautiful pitch there from Price. It's on the outside corner for strike 1. Price, the junior from Pinckney, Michigan. Last year as a sophomore, made 22 starts in the circle. All conference as a designated players. The 0-1 swung on and drilled into right field. Martinez backpedals, makes the grab, flips to first. Not in time. Trying to potentially turn the double play on Crittenden. Rosalind Price, you mentioned her ability to pitch in the circle, but at the plate, how about this? Tied for the team lead with 7 pitching wins. Tied for first on the team and 4th in the America East with 7 home runs. And ranked 4th on the team with 18 RBIs. Almost reminds me a little bit of Carrie Eberly last year for Virginia Tech. Led the team in home runs. And, of course, wins in the circle. First pitch to Chavez is low. And in there for a strike. Count is 0-1. 2 outs, bottom of the third. Hokies lead Binghamton 12-0. Here on the Watch ESPN app. 0-1, make it 1-1. To recap, if you're just joining us, Virginia Tech, 2 runs in the bottom of the first, 10 in the bottom of the second, including 3 home runs, 2 from Mackenzie Lauder. Still 2 outs in this 12-0 game. Pitch is off the plate for ball 3. Chavez works ahead in the count as the Hokies try and make it back-to-back half innings, making noise with 2 outs. The freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, fouls it off. And talking earlier about the options that Coach Pete DeMoore has behind the plate, the catchers on roster, Lauder, Walton, Duff, Chavez, and Kaylee Addington. 5 catchers to work with. Full count pitch. Swung on and roped into the gap in right center. 2 hops to the wall. As DeMoore will hold Crittenden at third. It's a stand-up double for Chavez, who now has a homer and a double. So Kana Davis, one of those many sophomores going back to last year's recruiting class who made an immediate impact on the Hokies, was Davis. This one popped up. First baseman will make the grab in Gouet to retire the 3rd inning. Hokies will strand 2 runners, but right now all Virginia Tech as we head to the 4th. 12-0. Virginia Tech leading Binghamton as you're watching NCAA softball from Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome back to Blacksburg, Virginia, an America East ACC softball matchup from Tech Softball Park. Right now, the storyline, all Virginia Tech as they lead Binghamton 12-0 beginning the top of the 4th inning. Again, thanks so much for being here. Evan Hughes along with you for the call, both Game 1 and Game 2 here in Blacksburg. And right now, it's Binghamton trying to get their first hit of the game. Yeah, things started off well for Binghamton. They worked a full count walk from Brado. She stole second. But Carrie Eberly has been locked in for Tech. First pitch, a weak chopper to second. The glove flip is behind Walton. But there's the extreme athleticism from Mackenzie Lauder, running all the way from behind the plate to back up the flip. And that will go down as the first hit of the afternoon from Binghamton. Sets up the DP, the cleanup batter, Madison Germano. Germano, the sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. We're currently in Huntington Beach. It is a sunny 63-degree day in California. And they have a pinch runner now on first base, and Allison Pritchard, a senior. Hokies will now shift into a potential double play opportunity up the middle. They're towards that second base bag, and Eberly comes right back after allowing her first hit of the day with a strike on the outside corner. Nobody out, top of the 4th inning. Hokies leading 12-0 over Binghamton. Rise ball is high. 1-1. Well, I said a couple of innings ago how Binghamton has faced many ACC schools. This is the 6th time they've gone up against one. Went up against Maryland before they left the ACC. First meeting against Virginia Tech. This one chopped to third. It could be two. Caught for one. The throw to first is behind Walton there from the second baseman, Matty Banks. So the Hokies will get the lead runner. And that's, of course, one of the biggest differences between the game of softball to baseball is that it is so much quicker and harder to turn to. Really has to be put into a nice spot to turn to. There it would have been a bang-bang play at first if the throw was on target. Pinch runner on the first base bag for Binghamton. Stephanie Ragusa, junior outfielder from Ossining, New York, will come in to run. Again, the Hokies will stay in their double play defense. But going back, last time Binghamton played an ACC foe was against Syracuse, an in-state school in the state of New York. Runner goes, waving a miss. The throw from Lauder runs into center field. And again, for the most part, every time Binghamton's got a runner on, Coach Johnston has stolen, either put on a hit and run or a bunt and run. But she is taking some opportunities here with her just 3 base runners at the moment. 1 hit, Eberle's walked a pair. Popped up foul. The last meeting for Binghamton, a good one against Syracuse, their in-state foe, picking up a win against the Orange. And, of course, Syracuse, one of 5 schools with new coaches in the ACC this year, as it's Louisville, Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. 0-2, ripped foul down the third base side. And NC State being the other one. And right now, Pete DeMoore certainly making a case for having one of the best teams in the ACC, potential early Coach of the Year candidate in the league, having his Hokies at 21-4. 0-2 is low. It hops. No, it hit the batter in the box. Michaela Alvarez will trot down the first base side with the hit by pitch. So Binghamton trying to make some noise here. Alex Gouet will step to the plate. Comes back with a fastball in the outside corner for strike one. Drop ball low and away. Ball and a strike to Gouet from Santee, California. Going back to her high school days before Binghamton. 4-year starter and player at all Grossmont Hills. Excuse me, going to West Hills, but she was all Grossmont Hills league selection. Pitches in the dirt, and Lauder a nice block behind the plate. Playing travel ball with the next level. Of course, Santee, a suburb city just outside of San Diego. Beautiful area of the country. And someone very notable from Sandy, California, Steven Strasburg, current MLB pitcher with the Washington Nationals, former #1 overall pick. And, of course, it's going to be a different look for the Nationals this year. Bryce Harper signing that 13-year contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. But if you thought that was a lot of money, him making well over $300 million, Mike Trout today finalizing over a $400 million contract with the Angels. 2-2 changeup misses just high. Took away. Really is incredible the amount of money that is in professional sports. But Mike Trout, no doubt one of those top players, a can't-miss prospect. 1 out, top 4, 3-2 count. Swung on the ground to third. Kalt tags the runner, flips to second. Not in time. Of course, Kalt coming in for Kelsey Bennett, one of the substitutions that Coach DeMore has made in this game thus far as his team continues to lead 12-0. Ten of the 12 runs for Virginia Tech coming back in the bottom of the second inning, where 3 home runs were hit, 2 by Mackenzie Lauder. One 0 is low and away. Two 0. And a fastball down the middle for strike one. See Matty Banks over there at second playing into the shift, shaded into shallow right field. Runners on first and second. This is the most offensive noise that Binghamton has made all afternoon. And here, close to potentially loading the bases. Count it 3-1. Needing a strike, doesn't get it, pitches outside, and the bases are now loaded as Herskowitz is walked. Can Binghamton get on the board? Of course, you got to start looking at the run rule that comes into effect after the 5th inning. If a team leading by 10 at that point, game is over, so Binghamton could use a couple of runs to stay in this. Here in the top of the 4th, they've got this inning and next to try and push across some runs. Drop ball is low from Eberly. And she'll ask for time as Lauder will come out and chat with her in the circle. Can you look at the success of the pitching staff for Virginia Tech this year? A lot of credit going to Doug Gillis. Mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. He and DeMore together in Missouri, then at Kennesaw State. Now here in Blacksburg. The success of Keely Rochard, throwing 2 no-hitters in one weekend to begin the season. And this pitching staff has been phenomenal, building off of last year where they had the 3rd best ERA in the country, the ACC. No one flips to second. That's in time for the force out to grab Herskowitz. So the 2 runners left on base for Binghamton. 12-0 remains the score as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching NCAA softball live from Tech Softball Park in Blacksburg, Virginia. 12-0 the score as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning from Tech Softball Park. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope your Tuesday is off to a great start. Evan Hughes along with you for the call. Hokies leading the Bearcats of Binghamton 12-0. As Mackenzie Lauder, who is arguably the MVP of this game for Virginia Tech, hit 2 home runs in the bottom of the second inning, steps in to the box to lead things off. Price still in the circle for Binghamton. She offers the first pitch. A breaking ball off the plate. Swung on, ripped just foul past the third base bag. And one of the interesting things about this week for Virginia Tech, they enter into a week where, essentially counting Sunday as this week with that series, they're playing 6 games, 2 today, 1 tomorrow against a former foe in the Atlantic Sun for Pete Demore when he was at Kennesaw State in Lipscomb. And then a weekend series at Pitt as the 1-1 is inside and off the plate for ball 2. And when Virginia Tech goes to Pittsburgh, they'll be looking for some potential revenge. You go back to the ACC tournament last year. Tech, the 10 seed, beat number 7 Duke down in Atlanta, then faced number 2 Pitt in the quarters, led for 6 1/3 innings of play. 2-1, ripped into center, and Lauder has the leadoff single for Tech. But a tough way to close the season for Tech, a walk-off grand slam for Pittsburgh. They were down 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th, loaded the bases. 4-2. And then that grand slam lifted them to a 6-4 win. Pittsburgh almost ended up beating Florida State, the eventual College World Series champions, in the ACC title game. Pinch hitter for Coach Pete Demore is Kaylee Addington. Steps into the box, first pitch to her. Check swing at a breaking ball high. Kaylee Addington, a sophomore from Lexington, Virginia, going to Rockbridge High School. Made the ACC Academic Honor Roll last year. Again, one of those 5 catchers. 1-0 pitch swung on, chopped to short. Alvarez flips to Brado for 1, throws to first in time for the 6-4-3 double play. So now 2 away. Bases are empty as Sierra Walton will make a plate appearance for Virginia Tech. And last year, again, we mentioned the catching situation for the Hokies last year. It was really Lauder and Walton who did a lot of the heavy lifting behind the plate, and it was Walton who got a lot of those innings moving forward in the latter parts of the season in April and May. Her ability to hit the ball. Played in 46 games last year with 44 starts, starting the final 29 games behind the plate. 1-0. It's low and away for ball 2. But Walton transferring in from Indian Hills Community College, originally from Des Moines, Iowa. So far this year, she's played in 11 games, 8 starts. They've put her at first base at times, the designated player. 2-0. And Price struggling to find the strike zone here in this at-bat behind 3-0. Got to give it up to Rosalind Price. She has battled here in 2 1/3 innings of works, 2 2/3. Has allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, none earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. 3-0 pitch. Gets the much-needed strike to keep the at-bat alive. And it's Walton pitch hitting for Jamie Bailey. So likely to see her at first as we have seen the last couple of innings. She'll draw a 5-pitch walk with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Again, this is game 1 of 2. Second game should follow about 30 minutes following the conclusion of this game. Kinsey Johnson into the batter's box. Has already made one plate appearance today. She rips one to third. Couple of hops to the glove of Ben, and she fires it across the diamond to retire the side. Binghamton needs at least 3 runs to keep the game alive as we head to the top of the 5th inning. 12-0 Virginia Tech leading Binghamton. You're watching NCAA softball from Blacksburg, Virginia. Four innings in the books as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Welcome back to Blacksburg, Virginia Tech Softball Park. The location as Virginia Tech 3 outs away from picking up their 22nd win of the year. Evan Hughes along with you for the call. Games 1 and 2 of this doubleheader this Tuesday afternoon between Binghamton and Virginia Tech. 12-0 the score. Hokies lead. And a new pitcher is Kira Napoli into pitch. First pitch swung on and chopped foul down the third base side. Napoli, a transfer from the University of Georgia, where she pitched 8 1/3 last year in Athens. Also was a part of the SEC Academic Honor Roll. 0-1 from the right-hander. Swung on up the middle. This is good for a base hit. As a base hit for Binghamton to get the inning going. That one by a pinch hitter. No, excuse me, the 9-hitter in the order, Chloe Morgan. So she slaps her way aboard, brings us to the top of the order with Marissa Brado. And Napoli, somebody who really could move into that 3 spot in that rotation for Virginia Tech with Eberly and Keely Rochard getting a lot of the innings at the moment. But a lot of talent, the sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia. Foul tip from Brado. So far this year, she's pitched in 3 games, 1 inning against UAB. Came in for the final inning at Radford, got 3 outs and only allowed 1 hit to preserve the shutout. And her debut came against Purdue back in the opening weekend down in South Carolina. 0-1, make it 0-2, says the home plate umpire Donald Purnell II. So for Napoli, even though she didn't pitch against the University of Georgia, did get a chance to go back, see her former team earlier in the year when the Hokies went to Athens and split 2 games against the Bulldogs. 0-2 is high. Lauder takes a peek over to second where Morgan retreats back to the bag. Sun continues to shine on a day where it's just about mid-50s in Blacksburg. 1-2. Popped into center field. Making the grab is Kinsey Johnson for the first out of the 5th. Lauren Martinez now to the dish for Binghamton. Taking a look at her numbers today. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up. First pitch of the at-bat, and there's a fastball just missing high for a ball. Only 2 hits for Binghamton this afternoon. Lauren Martinez from Magnolia, Texas, 37 games last year. She started 34. It's the 1-0 ripped off the glove of Sierra Walton. And everybody is safe. Still 1 down. As you see, Hannah Lyons, someone who can catch, also plays infield today, out in left field. Last year, in her first year, named an NFCA All-American Scholar Athlete, which means you get at least a 3.5 or higher. Always so impressive to see these student athletes succeed so much in the classroom. That busy schedule on and off the field. First pitch from Napoli, waving a miss. Also part of the America East Honor Roll. Currently a business administration major. So Napoli looking strong early here for Virginia Tech. Everly ends up going 4 innings. Taking a look at her final numbers for Virginia Tech. Just gave up a hit, walked 2, 5 strikeouts on 67 pitches, 41 of them strikes. And that's one thing Everly does so well, staying ahead in counts. Doesn't walk a lot of batters. And certainly for Virginia Tech, you have to think that maybe Keely Rochard might be starting game 2 for the Hokies. They've got a big one tomorrow against Lipscomb, who's 19-7. Again, a team that Coach Pete DeMore knows well from just coming from the A-Sun. Change up inside and just missing for ball 1. Colt at third, Nolan at short, Banks at second, and Walton at first. Davis in right, Johnson in center, Strout in left. 1-2, waving a miss, and Napoli's got a punch out. So 2 down. As we'll see, Stephanie Ragusa try and push across maybe a couple of runs for Binghamton down to their final out at the moment, unless they can get some runs on the board. First pitch fouled off. Ragusa from Ossining, New York. Ready on lefty. Napoli gets her signal. And deals on an off-speed pitch high and away. Ball and a strike. Still 2 down. Runners on first and second in the 1-1. High and upstairs for ball 2. Lauder's done a nice job behind the plate today for Virginia Tech. Communicated well, has had a couple of opportunities to throw runners out, stealing for second, has not converted. Wave and a miss. Big pitch from Napoli. Again, who will be so crucial down the stretch for Virginia Tech, and as well as Mara Strum. A couple of other pitchers trying to complement their first years in Blacksburg. Bright futures ahead, working with a young staff in Eberly, leading the pack as a junior, Rochard as a sophomore. Good, Game 2 should start in just about a half hour. Hope you'll stick around with us here on the ESPN app. We'll have the full commentary here for you. And then tomorrow, Lipscomb, Virginia Tech on ACC Network Extra. Sam Hyman, Shelby Miller will have the call from Tech Softball Park. 2-2. Change up is low. Trying to potentially get Ragusa to chase after it. Big pitch coming. Hokies want to keep the shutout intact. Runners remain on first and second. The pitch. And Culp makes the grab, and that will do it. Virginia Tech, an offensive explosion in the bottom of the second inning in which they score 10 runs, including 2 home runs in that half inning by Mackenzie Lauder. Also saw for Virginia Tech, Grace Chavez go deep to center.